Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. I was lucky enough to stumble across a very nice bundle on my local Facebook marketplace. The seller was getting rid of some old hardware that he was no longer needing. He stated that he has no knowledge about the components, if they're still working, but he also said that they were working last time he used them. They were just storing them for a very long time. I didn't have a proper look when I arrived at the destination to see how the components look like, but now seeing them on the table I can see a bit better what's the condition, if they have any rust, but all I can see is dust and nothing that a nice blow with the air compressor would fix. They're not even as dirty as I was imagining, so yeah, I think this would be quite a fairly easy job. Okay, so you're probably wondering what was in the bundle. I've managed to clean them all. It's quite a lot of stuff. Some things are better than others. I'll start with something I'll probably not use. This is some kind of TV tuner. It requires a cable, TV cable placed in here. Remote missing. I don't have cable for like more than 15 years, so I'm relying on the internet for all the information. I'm not even sure if it works. I'm not gonna test it, so we're not gonna go through this. The first graphics are, there were two graphics cards. The first one is a Radeon HD 6450 low profile entry-level card, fully passive. This will be good just to test old systems. The second card, which requires a bit of cleaning as well, is an Asus Radeon HD 4850. Okay, this is much more powerful. This was upper mainstream card, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2008 or 2007, who knows. One motherboard had this amazing full copper cooler by Zalman. I've already gave it a very good clean. Fan seems to be alright, spinning properly. Yeah, I'm very excited about this one. They were very popular back in the days. Never managed to have one, but I had something similar in the past. This on the other motherboard installed. Looks like a standard 3 heat pipes cooler by Thermalright. Yeah, looks clean now. Then 3 optical units, DVD recorder, what's this, light on, DVD rewritable. So this is able to read and write dual layer discs, including rewritable discs. LightScribe is also supported. This was the technology which would allow to print on the top of the CD. Show you an example what LightScribe mean. So LightScribe discs, for example, they had like a white label on here, and LightScribe would actually laser engrave artwork. You would there are software specially designed for LightScribe. Second unit was just a normal DVD ROM. This is just reading DVDs and CDs, nothing else. Light on, 2006 November, 19 years old, and I'm hoping this works because it's actually a Pioneer Blu-ray player, July 2012. It reads and writes DVDs, including rewritable ones. I'm not sure if dual layer is supported, but I'm after this, the Blu-ray. Another thing included, this was a very good card at its time, D-Link wireless, 3 antennas, chunky. Not even sure of the speeds this would go, N650, probably 650 megabits max transfer. I'm not sure if this was on one frequency. We'll have to look in the online to see the specs for it. And then there was actually a sound card, the Sound Blaster SB0820. I've looked online, and it's actually the Extreme Audio from X-Fi series, so Sound Blaster X-Fi. It's the lowest from the lowest tier. It's actually not using the X-Fi chip from the series, it's using a lower chip from the ODG series, which was prior to this. And now, getting to the motherboards. One of the motherboards is the Gigabyte P35D S3P. This was fairly upper mainstream card, all solid Japanese caps. It has all the features you would need on a motherboard. I'll go into details when I start to install. And the CPU on it, it was an Intel Core 2 Quad Q6600, isn't it? If I'm seeing correctly. Core 2 Quad, yeah, Q6600, quite decent chip. The other motherboard is very rare, to be honest. This was an Abbott AB9 Quad GT. I'll have to look up the specs, because I'm not sure what kind of chipset it used to have. I used to love Abbott motherboards. I still consider one of the best in the industry. They're not among us anymore, and I'm really sad for that, because they stopped making cards and graphics cards. So yeah, again, all solid Japanese caps. And I remember when this technology was introduced, silent OTs with a heat pipe on motherboards. Just like ASUS, they were among the pioneers who implemented this solution, transferring the heat from North Bridge to the VRMs, South Bridge separately, all copper. Yeah, this was quite high-end. We'll see how... about the CPU on it, it had a 6600, but this time is the Core 2 Duo. So it's the dual core variant. It would be interesting to compare them, to see how they fare against each other, dual core versus quad core. I think they have the same frequency, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2.4 gigahertz, I think they're both standard. And lastly, OCZ, very nice memory. I really love this design that they used to do. So this is 1 gigabyte on each stick, so 4 gigabytes in total, exactly what Windows XP would need in those times for a high-end Windows XP. But I think today we're gonna try Windows 7 on them. It's much easier to test software. PC2 6400, I think that's 800 megahertz if I'm not mistaken. We'll see. It's a nice kit. And the other motherboard had 3 sticks. Are they the same? I think so. 6400 again, so 3 times 1 gigabyte. I need to see if I have another Corsair. I know I have somewhere this Corsair sticks. 800 megahertz, but I need to see if they match voltage. Yeah, that's about it. So let's get to business. I'm curious how many of these actually work. Yeah, even if one or two work, I'm still super happy and excited about it. I decided to start with this Abit 9 motherboard. Is a bit older than the Gigabyte. It uses the P965 chipset, which was a generation prior to P35, but still supports DDR2. I think the speeds are up to 1200 or 1333, quite high, and probably it has a BIOS update for the Q6600. Now actually on this one is the Core 2 Duo. Okay, probably a bit better, being an older chipset. So, looking at the motherboard, yeah, I really enjoyed these motherboards in the past. They're so colorful and equipped with everything you would need. 4 sticks of RAM, yeah. Old IDE connector for all drives, 6 SATA, floppy connector, 2 PCI Express slots. I'm thinking maybe it accepts Crossfire or SLI, I'm not sure. I'll have to put the specs on screen. I have one PCI EX1 for expansion cards, as such as this. Yeah, really important. All types of PCI ports for cards as this, up to dual graphics cards on it. Extra power connector for SLI or Crossfire configurations. Full CPU connector, 8-pin, and I can see it has a ton of fan connector. CPU fan 1, auxiliary, on the bottom, auxiliary again, system fan. It's very well equipped, and have a look in here on the bottom. 3 USB connectors, audio, all the things that we're already familiar with. They existed 20 years ago. Plus other ports, the 1394 port, I think that was Firewire if I'm not mistaken, and we have an LED indicator here. I'm not sure if these are power or reset. I'll have to test, but yeah, motherboards which had a LED indicator with a code, they were quite high-end. This would normally indicate if there's a fault with the memory or the any ports or the CPU. It would give you a number there, and you could check in the manual what's wrong with it. What I'll have to do is replace the old battery. This KTS battery, they're usually the ones that come originally with the motherboard, so probably this is at least 15 years old battery. I know they last a lot, like 10 years easy, but yeah, it didn't clean properly, but it is what it is. The dust was quite old on it, and we'll see how it goes from there. I'm planning to test to see if wireless works on Windows 7. If I'm not mistaken, Windows 7 still gets updates from the server. I know it's shocking. I think I've tried it a few months ago. And I also tried the XFi, or XFi, some people call it. I'm not sure which is the correct one. I like to call it XFi, like sci-fi. We'll see how this sounds. It didn't have very good reviews in the past, being the lowest on the XFi series, but you know, if it's free and it works, I can't complain. And the back panel actually very like all the ports you would need. eSATA for external drives, 2 optical connectors. I think one is for in and one is for out, if I'm not mistaken. Still support for PS2 mouse and keyboard, which I love. Unfortunately only USB 2. which are Firewire and Ethernet. It has everything that a motherboard would need. Even nowadays, all these ports would get you by. It's has a lot of features and specs on, so it's fully equipped. And then the graphics card, the Asus 4850, it was quite a capable graphics card at that point, so I'm expecting a lot from this actually. Hopefully it works. And the kit for gigabytes, it's more than enough for Windows 7. Yeah, again, cross fingers, everything works. So I'm gonna start installing the CPU first, but I need something to support this motherboard. So I'll get back to you. I need to look for something here in the room. So I've managed to clean the graphics card. It was very dirty. Still is. I couldn't clean it properly. It still shows dust, but it is what it is. The model is a 4850 from Radeon, 512 megabytes of RAM. Quite a decent card for the times. Thermal paste was like rock hard. Had to scrape it off actually on both the silicon and the radiator. And now I'll try to put it together. Let's see how it works. Okay, the camera refuses to. Okay, maybe we can get a clear shot now. Okay. For GPUs, I like to use Arctic MX6. It's actually much thicker and has more thermal resistance than MX4. So this would be suitable for GPUs actually, rather than CPUs. So a tube like this would last you ages, to be honest. Okay, I think that's enough. This is also a bit harder to spread than MX4. I like to use like a spatula. Make it even. Nice and slow. Patiently. We don't need to put a lot. The purpose of the paste is actually to fill the micro pores in the metal here, so it makes perfect contact. Okay, let's see how this goes. I think like that, yeah. So I'll put it like that, and then I can see the holes. Okay, they're all lined up. Just gonna put the screws in. I'm not gonna tighten them from the beginning until the end, just a bit until it grips the radiator, making sure the paste gets evenly spread. If you tighten one end harder than the other ends, or start with these fully tightened and then others, we risk not having a uniform spread on the paste. Do it like that, cross pattern, evenly, slowly. Do not over tight these, never ever. You risk cracking the chip, because the chip, it's exposed, it doesn't have an heat spreader. Okay, I've managed to clean the fan quite nicely. First I did a nice blow on it so the dust goes away, and then I just give it a nice wipe with detergent on the blades. Looks like new. Yeah, it suits. Alright, this one has 4 screws. I can't remember how this goes. Let's see. Like that. Okay, yeah, that's it. I'm gonna use the magnetic one. Let's hope now. So the tip is too big. I don't have a magnetic one so small, so we're gonna have to rely on skill. Same one as on the back. Don't screw them from the beginning. Make sure they grip, and they're gonna guide the fan nicely in place. Okay. Very, very careful. Don't over tight anything when it comes to electronics. Never ever. Okay. Especially because this is plastic and it can be brittle after such a long time. Okay, I'm not sure if this will work, but I'm gonna give it a try. Seems quite... let's see. How is this going in? I have no idea. I think I found it. Yeah. It's in. So, only the shroud missing now. I'm not sure if this has any purpose rather than just aesthetics. I'm not sure if it's guiding the air. Well, maybe. It's guiding it down. This edge here is forcing the air down. So this one has 2 screws on the side. There. And one on the opposite side. Requires a bit of dexterity without magnetic one, but it's fine. And our Radeon card has been cleaned. I did not want to test it dirty like that. Okay. Shroud is in place. Looks like a nice card in my opinion. The red PCBs were something for Radeon. I wish they kept red for Radeons, but it came out of fashion at some point in history and people decided it's not cool enough. I remember when black PCBs were introduced for motherboards and GPUs, and then the fun was over. No more colors, everything was black and grey and ugly. Now, this took me ages to clean, actually. I have never cleaned such a complex cooler before, well, heatsink. This is full copper, except on some metal in here. Zalman CNPS 9000, made in Korea. They were very much praised when they released, and I remember doing a very good job cooling the CPUs, being very silent as well. I never had a chance to own one. They were quite pricey when they came out. Very nice finish here, almost like mirror finish. Yeah, and it's quite genius the way they decided to attach the fan. It's just like a metal bracket coming from the base, and this will attach with 2 screws. I've also cleaned the fan quite nicely. It's like new. And now I think I'm gonna struggle putting back the screws. Let's see how this went. It's probably the cable has to go first in here somewhere, or not. Not mandatory. Right, now these require dexterity. Okay, I need something on the to place, maybe like a piece of paper to push it up. Let's see if it works. Okay, is this enough? Let's see if this piece of paper is enough. You can press it down as well. Okay, yeah, seems to be okay. So, not sure if you can see on camera properly. I'm gonna struggle with this one, I know it. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna change the strategy and hold it like that. Put the screws here first. Wow, this is really difficult. Okay, one eternity later. This took me longer than I anticipated. Okay, maybe this cable should have been passed through the back first. Let me have a look, because it goes against the cable. Definitely. I think I'll put a cable tie in here. So if I do it like that, okay, now it's fine. It looks very nice when spinning, and this will attach to the motherboards as such, as like a bracket. Socket 775 Zalman, made in Korea. Zalman used to be quite top dog in the early 2000s, making coolers, fans, power supplies, cases. Yeah, I used to really enjoy their products, but unfortunately not sure what happened to them. And look at this, look at the detail. Yeah, so on each of these copper blades there is Zalman engraved. Who does that anymore? No one does that, not even Noctua. I would like to see Noctua making a return for this type of coolers, to be honest. Okay, let's jump to the next one. And we're back. So not only that I found one of the best motherboard supports for test benches, yeah, the old box. I'm sure everyone was using a box at some point. It's very convenient, no screws involved, just drop it there. And it's not hard to bend the pins on the back of the motherboard. You should never put the motherboard and press memory or graphics card against a hard surface, because you could bend or push out some of these if they are not properly soldered. So on cardboard like that, it's perfectly fine. I've been doing it for many years, never had any issue. So not only did I found a very good support for my motherboard, but I also found the power supply, which will serve us in this video to test these two motherboards. This is a gold, 80% gold efficiency power supply, very capable. It's among the newest models, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, 2018, okay, so it's 7 years old. Still solid. I don't think it's gonna fail us. And we're gonna proceed with installing the CPU cooler. Back panel, back panel, come on. The back bracket. It's, I'm not sure if this goes okay. Does it have a bit raised? Yeah, they are a bit raised, so you can push them like that. Okay, it's gonna sit there nicely. Nice one. Now let's see, this one has long screws. I don't know the position of this. Are they equal? This looks to fit like that, but would it fit like that as well? Yeah, so it doesn't matter actually how you fit it. It's all symmetrical, I think, except that one. I'm not sure what that is. It's very strange. Why would it have that? What's going on there? Ah, for the cable maybe? I think so. So I'm gonna install like that. So the cable from the cooler comes through there. Interesting. Hopefully that's the case. I don't see what else could it be. Yeah, so it's plastic. It wouldn't scrape the motherboard. Okay. Not tighten them. Just loose like that until they get a grip in the back bracket. Okay. I'm not sure how much CPU cooling installing has evolved, but I think they were already doing it quite well in the past. Again, don't overdo the screws. It's all plastic, and also motherboards might end up being damaged. So now this will go, I'm guessing, like that. Yeah, so it pushes the air through here towards the back where the case exhaust fan is. Yeah, so imagine you have the case here where the back panel is, and you have a fan here blowing air out. This will push the air like that, and bam. I'll give it a clean. Ah, it's clean already. I don't need to clean it anymore. I just need to add the paste, I think. So for testing purposes, I always like to use this GD900. You can find it on AliExpress. It's quite cheap, but very reliable. I mean, I didn't see a lot of difference between this and the MX4, and it applies and looks very similar to Arctic MX4. By the way, Arctic MX is my favorite CPU paste, so maybe that's why I prefer this one.
This is actually a bit more liquid than the Arctic MX, so it has less, it's less dense and would provide lower performance, but not by much. Absolutely not by much. I'll try to spread that one evenly. I don't like for the cooler to spread the paste. I really dislike it when I see it on videos. It only takes you a minute to spread it. Don't be lazy. Do it properly. I think I put a bit too much. That's fine. Cleaning the ice cream. This is from when my daughter was eating ice cream one day. I thought about, yeah, okay, can I have that one? She was very resilient at the beginning, but then she accepted. So yeah, free ice cream spoon. Okay. So, like I said, I think the cable goes through that hole. So let's push it through that hole then. It will go through here like that and exit there. Okay. And now it's gonna exit there. Okay. Good stuff, Zalman. Okay then. It's slowly going down. Come on now. It's like it's so nice. Okay, this is gonna be again a bit meticulous work. Balancing the bracket there. Let's see, can I screw it just a bit? Yeah. Okay, so it's in place on one side. And wow, it requires quite a bit of force to push it down, but now it's in place. I think I'm gonna screw them until they stop. Yeah, so they require no tightening. Just do it until they stop. Yeah, solid. All right, so this one goes into the CPU fan header as such. Look at this beauty then. All right, now the memory. I don't know what happened to OCZ or OCZ, depending where you are, British or American. But the manufacturers nowadays need to take a very good example of what good design means. I mean, I think it looks amazing. Shiny. It doesn't matter if it's gold or silver or platinum finish, whatever you want, but these look absolutely gorgeous. OCZ used to do amazing stuff. I don't know what happened to them. Maybe I'll research and put it on screen if I have time. That would be quite informative for all of us. Okay. Okay, I think that one is other way around. Okay. Good. Everything in. Okay, and okay, it seems that everything's into place now. I've connected everything. Finally, I have a PS2 connector on the board for this mouse. Keyboard, mouse, wireless adapter, sound card, graphics card,
8-pin connector, 24-pin connector, PCI Express connector. I actually have a power button. I don't like shorting the pins here like other people's on other channels do. And a 128 gigabyte SSD drive. It's very good for our purposes. Don't need more than that. And then we can switch on the power supply. Okay, I can see the LEDs lighting up. There is the display. It shows 00 at the moment, and there is another red LED indicating there's power coming on the 24-pin connector. Right, let's power it on. I can see a lot of fans spinning. Quite noisy, but at least everything spins. Let's see if we can get any image. Doesn't seem to output any image. LED indicates 90. I don't know if that's a motherboard issue or memory. Wow, that's very powerful. The CPU cooler. Okay, maybe memory problem. I'm gonna switch it off. Okay, so I removed 2 of the memory sticks. Now we have just 2 inside, and I've changed the cable from this TVI channel 1 to TVI channel 2 on the graphics card. Let's see if this would change anything. Doesn't seem to want to proceed. Oh, I forgot to replace BIOS battery. I have now replaced the BIOS battery. Let's hope it's gonna work. Doesn't want to seem that it wants to do anything. I'm not sure if I damaged the GPU while cleaning. I'll try moving the memory sticks from further 2 slots, the closer 2 slots to the CPU. It's still showing 90 on the LED. I'll try removing everything and plug the other graphics card, see if the other one is displaying any image, and we're gonna eliminate any of the other possible issues here. Be right back. I'm not sure which is this one, 4th attempt, 5th attempt. So what I did, I removed all the cards. I've replaced the GPU with the other one, and we have 2 memory sticks in the positions 1 and 3.
It's same error 90 on the motherboard. I'll have to search to see what that means, 90. Okay, so this is the 6th attempt. What I did was add the PC speaker so I can see if it beeps, what kind of beeps does it do. And I've replaced the memory with the Corsair ones. Yeah, it's same code, no beeping from the PC speaker. This would indicate probably a BIOS problem. Not sure what it is. Okay, so I had to research online a bit because it started to drive me crazy. That code 9.0 on the motherboard was actually referring to faulty power supply or faulty power delivery on the motherboard. There's not a lot of forums posts about this, so it took me a while, but I've replaced the power supply without anything connected. It powered on. Now I start to populate back everything and we'll see if it starts. Okay, I have the beep from the speaker and we have image on screen. Yeah, okay, so at least with this power supply we know that the motherboard at least and the CPU are functional, memory as well. I'm not sure about the other bits, we'll see when we initialize them. I'm gonna have to let's see, load the defaults. What other, let's have a look through the BIOS. So is the Core 2 6600 is the dual version. What else do we have here? Okay, the SSD drive is recognized on SATA. We don't have a floppy drive, so I'm gonna just disable this one. Sorry. Memory, total memory here, 4 gigabytes. So all 4 memory sticks are recognized. Date is a bit off. I'll get back to that later. CPU features, yeah, just the usual ones, and so it detects USB stick as well, which I'm going to use for installing Windows 7, and the SSD. I'm going to change the boot order in here, like this. So first boot device, and I'll put hard drive. Other than that, I don't think we need here anything. I'm going to leave everything on auto for now. Okay, I'm just going to change the SATA mode from IDE to HHCI. IDE, it's only recommended for all drives and Windows XP. HHCI, it's recommended for Windows 7 and newer. So I'm going to leave it like that. Everything enabled here. Yeah, mouse seems to be powered on. We'll see if it works because it's a PS2 mouse. Keyboard is USB. I'm not sure why. One was USB, one was probably not even a notching set. We're lucky that this motherboard has the PS2 connectors. I'm very happy about that. We don't need the
FireWire connector controller, so I've disabled it. Network controller, we're gonna try on wireless, see if it works. SATA mode HHCI. I think that's about it in here. Okay, yeah, okay, save and exit. Let's see if it boots up from the USB stick. Everything's spinning, very happy about that. SATA HHCI. Let's see. Okay, so the optical unit is also recognized. I connected one of them, DVD-ROM light on. That was also with green. You can see the USB storage in there. Let's see if it, yeah, okay, so we're in the USB, everything seems to be working okay for now. So I'm happy that most components are in working order. The CPU fan is a bit noisy. We'll see if we can temper it down with software, or maybe in BIOS there is a setting. But the graphics card seems to be quite silent. Yeah, the code showing now on the motherboard is FF. Probably that's a normal code. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening now, why we don't have an image. It should go in, okay, it's a bit slow to read probably. I'm not even sure if it's USB 2.0 on the motherboard. It might be the first edition USB 1.0, because it seems that it's taking quite a lot of time to read the contents on it. It's loading slowly. Do we have power in the speakers? Yeah, the USB provides power. I've connected the speakers to the Sound Blaster audio card, not on the integrated one. And from here, okay, it seems that motherboard is not recognized anymore. It's not lit in here. And yeah, it doesn't work. I'm wondering why. It did work perfectly in BIOS, but it doesn't work on this menu. So I'll have to reboot to see what's going on. Maybe there is a setting in BIOS I'm not aware of. I've not seen this before. It's usually other way around. It's not recognized in BIOS, but is later on recognized by the OS. So yeah, let's try and reboot it. I'm gonna switch it off. Okay, we're back in BIOS. Let's see if we can find a setting related to USB. USB controller, okay. Enabled. Okay, BIOS. USB keyboard support via. Okay, so it was selected BIOS, OS by default. I think we need to put BIOS as an option. Let's try that, and USB mouse support, we're gonna put the same. So the BIOS has full control until OS takes over. On-chip audio controller, we don't need it actually, so I'm happy I rebooted it, because we're gonna go with the integrated sound. With the dedicated sound. Sorry about that. And, yep, let's reboot it and let's see what happens. And we're back. I can see the LED on the keyboard lighting up this time. I can actually navigate through the menu. So we're going to go to number 10, Windows Install menu. I bet everyone saw this plenty of times, so I'm just gonna skip and go forward after the OS gets installed. Crossfinger, it's installing without any issues. The installation seems to last an eternity. That USB, it's USB 2.0, but very slow. It's actually acting like USB 1.0. It was really annoying. I just left it running. I think it took about half an hour to copy all the files from the USB stick. I'm not sure what's the reason. Maybe an extension card, a USB extension card with USB 3.0 would be beneficial for this kind of system if planning to build anything in the future. But yeah, it was really painful to see it and checking every few minutes if it's advanced. It was really looking like it's not advancing at all, so yeah, I just had to speed up the video so we are not gonna fall asleep on our chairs while watching the video. Alright, and we're back. I'm gonna install drivers now using Snappy Driver Origin. This should provide all the drivers needed. The software, it's automatically okay, so it automatically detected our motherboard in here, the Abit AB9 Quad GT. Okay, all the drivers have been recognized and ready to download. I'll just let it run, update the drivers, and we'll come back to it once it's done. I'm running Memtest 86 because the included memory was making the system unresponsive, and I'm thinking it's either the memory channels on the motherboard or the memory sticks. So I've added for my own stash, I've added 2 times 2 gigabytes of HyperX memory, which I know is not faulty, and I'm gonna leave Memtest to run this one cycle. And if I'm gonna be happy, I'm gonna leave it like that. Everything seems to be in order now. With the new memory sticks installed, this definitely did not freeze again. All drivers installed perfectly. Sound is working. I'm gonna test the systems to see if it's stable and working well with 3D Mark 2006, and this is from Passmark Software Performance Test. Let's start with the 3D Mark 2006. I'm sure everyone's familiar with this benchmark suite from FutureMark. Okay, I'm gonna leave it all by default so we can compare with other systems in the future when we build them. Everything's recognized automatically, including resolution and CPU, GPU, everything, memory. Mark 2006 was actually a bit more demanding than 2005 version. They added extra effects and lightning, and more pixel shaders and sprites. So yeah, it's a bit more refined. I'll just leave it to run, and we'll continue when we have the score on screen. Okay, the test is over. 9,747 3D marks. Let's have a look at the details. I think it's trying to open a web page. Okay, this is not good. We don't want to see that. The PC is not connected to the internet at the moment. So details. Yes, first test, Battle of Proxicon, 32 FPS on average. Firefly Forest 37 FPS on average. That was Shader Model 2. Shader Model 3. Canyon Flight 48 FPS, Deep Freeze, the last one 51 FPS. Yeah, we'll remember all the scores, and I'm gonna run performance test next from Passmark Software. This is the version 8, which I think it was released in 2010 and kept updated until 2016. There are newer versions, 9 and 10, also 11, but they are for more modern hardware and for Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. So we have the system summary in here. I'm just gonna let it run the benchmark. It's gonna benchmark the whole system, including storage and memory, CPU calculations, and 2D graphics, 3D graphics, memory mark and disk mark. Okay, so it's a complete benchmarking software. Let's give it a go. And the test is now done. 1,427 points. Complete results. Explain. Okay, there is like a help page explaining the score. And we have actually a chart in here showing our system compared to other systems. I think this is showing roughly similar to MA770 UF3 motherboard, a bit less. on the CPU side, we're a bit under Core 2 Duo E8400, which is normal because that one is a 3 GHz CPU, ours is a 2.4 GHz. I would say it's quite close. It says it's 7% better, that one. 2D graphics, the Radeon 4850, according to the test, it's yeah, it's the worst compared to all the cards. Closest would be the Radeon 6450, which I think is the other card. Yeah, is the other card from the bundle. That's 12% better than this one. I remember 4850 being a bit better, but maybe I'm remembering 4890 or 4870. I'm not sure. 14, something like that. On 3D Mark scores, we can see the long line in here. It's actually the GTX 980. That's outstanding. It's 820 times, so 8.24 times faster than this card. Unreal. And our closest card from the test to ours would be the Radeon HD 5770, which is 46% faster. Memory, I think we're average. There's some DDR3 kits which are faster, but when it goes to DDR2, I think we're on the same page. And disk mark is actually showing quite good, so we're definitely faster than mechanical hard drives in here. But there are some SSD which perform faster on the test here. Probably better motherboards, newer. So yeah, our SSD is a Samsung 128GB. I did not even check the model. Yeah. So what I'm happy about is that all components so far are working, except the memory compatibility. I don't think any of the memory memory sticks are broken, but what I'm thinking is the Abbott AB9 motherboard is quite picky when it comes to brands and speeds. So yeah, I think we have a fully functional piece of kit in here, which could prove useful in the future when I'm gonna try to do some builds or mix them up, compare stuff. I'm actually very, very happy and excited about this. Yeah, we're gonna, in the second part of the video, I'm gonna test the other bits, see if they work. Those are a bit newer. Well, the motherboard and the CPU, they're a bit better, so we should see higher scores compared to these. And as a bonus, I think I'm gonna add a more powerful card from my own collection to compare and run on the same benchmark after we've run the second kit as well. Yeah, good stuff. Also, what I've forgot to test was the optical drives. I'm gonna do it in the next video. I'm gonna install some games as well to see how they behave on that quad core and on that P45 motherboard. And yeah, see you in the next video.